Welcome back to the MSI Beat It 2014. This is the Korean qualifiers. It's the first of two qualifiers. And wow, Supernova's APM right now. What the hell is happening? It's got like 600 APM for a second there. Building SCVs. Ugh. I guess still just, he's calming down after that first game. But I'm Rifkin, casting tonight with Zombie Gub, of course. This is the first series of the day, and in this best of 3, it's map number 2. Spawning in the bottom right corner of the map, leading 1-0, it is Root Gaming's Red Terran Supernova.
Never left as the Blue Protoss. It's Stork.
You know, I checked it off of the delay after I had to go thank Mr. Boris Makarov, and someone in chat had mentioned at the same time, like, wow, Supernova's playing Bio, WTF. It's a bit funny to consider that because of how often we see him play mech, but he does play a fantastic Bio.
Yeah, I'd say it was... I mean, he's not a Villo, right? I'd say he plays mech versus Protoss maybe like 25% of the time.
Yeah, well, I got to. I love his mech versus Protoss too because it's some of the coolest stuff. Not a lot of people can pull that off. Oftentimes Hellions, of course, get your head, but can you finish it off of that? But last game, which kind of sucks, and you know we're gonna see really Supernova bias here. Well, he did win the first game, so rightfully so. But Stork opened that so strong. He had a lot of things going for him, beneficial in the early game. I'm really surprised, not that he lost, but he lost so easily. Yeah, like it just Supernova came in there and just wiped him off the map.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to think of it as to why, right? So maybe he didn't go because he had like a big gateway army rather than going up straight up to Colossus. I feel because there was that attack, you know, with a bunch of stalkers, a couple zealots, and a sentries. So, I don't know. Supernova did, you know, some probe kills. I don't know. I think it really just came down to the fact like Supernova attacked at that one moment where Stork did not have enough, and he had to hallucinate Colossus, which in most cases would buy you a lot of time. At the very least, his mothership core might have came over to the third, where you know that mothership core only was helpful in the drops or something. But he just, you know, Supernova took that chance, didn't even scan. That was like, I think that might have been the defining moment where Supernova was just gonna, you know, win from then on.
Yeah, it's funny too because if you take a look at the way that game went, if objectively speaking you were new to StarCraft 2, you didn't know a lot about the ins and outs, like I would be Terran is OP after watching Supernova.
Right.
Handle that game.
Yeah. I think it is just that one moment where, well, it was a good move by Stork. I really thought that was gonna just push Supernova back, buy a lot of time. He's gonna be completely fine going to a macro game. Instead, Supernova took a fight where it's just, oh my god, no one else would.
Well, speaking of all these other wonderful things, we do have Hellions coming out. Sorry, we neglected to talk about this. We're too busy nerding about him in the first game. And he pulled off of gas for this, too. So he's going to be expanding. He's going to be able to get just Hellions on Hellions pumped out. It's funny because you don't need drops to make Hellions work in this matchup. There's just been this awkward struggle for all Protoss players where it's like, oh, what are these units I've never had to deal with for the last 2 years, right? It's actually astounding how well 2 Hellions can work in the early game. Because typically there's like 1, maybe 2 Stalkers out to deal with you. The Mothership Core is on the wrong side of the map for this, so not at home, no Photon Overcharge. Yeah, he's going to deal some damage here to Supernova, but Supernova's cranky at 2 Widow Mines behind us, so he kills the Mothership Core, he kills any follow-up. Meanwhile, he's got a lot of potential for damage.
2 Hellions do not one-shot the probes, but there's only 1 Stalker to deal damage, so...
Oh, I like this. I really like this gateway placement.
He needs to keep both Hellions alive, you know. If he can, just micro them so that the Stalker does not focus down 1, which is exactly what they're doing, so never mind.
I still get some decent hits off of this. I mean, cost-effective, barely. Stork did transfer a lot of this to the natural and well-placed, but the thing I'm nerding about the gateway here, guys, is if, you know, oftentimes what you'll see these shutdown Hellions is actually a force field go down, kind of akin to the gateway. The idea is the Hellions, they're pretty good, they're fast, they got that wonderful splash, but they're not exactly the best units at maneuvering around, I guess, things like SimCity, so cancels that. Once again, was just temporary. Really like the placement on it.
Supernova's command center was pretty delayed. Realized he had to go all the way back home, and he must have scouted the Widow Mines as well. I wasn't paying attention to what the Mothership Core was doing. I just know that it recalled, so... Gotta assume that is the case, and Stork's gonna be very wary about pushing out with these Stalkers. I mean, usually if you have 3 Stalkers, and you know your opponent open with Hellions, you might feel perfectly okay moving across the map and, you know, poking that bunker a little bit. But knowing that they followed up with Widow Mines, and, you know, maybe a little more careful. The Observer does come out, though, so now would be a perfect opportunity to go and snipe them. Certainly not taking any damage. This time, Supernova gets a tank. I like it.
I would actually love if he put full-fledged mech into this. It's still not a guarantee that he does this with his opening, but what is nice is the way Supernova does open. This protects and coveralls against most things like blink, early all-ins. The tank damage is, of course, a lot. It's good and everything, but it's the range that makes it best here. But let's not forget, on King Sejong, there are very particular pushes you do with the tanks out here. You put up a couple bunkers down. You don't knock down the rocks. You just deny a gas. I mean, defensively speaking, this is great, but it's actually got some offensive power just due to the map.
Yeah, that's a good point as well. Counterattacks when you do that can be difficult to hold. You're getting your production when you move out, with double tanks and a medevac, but that might be exactly what Supernova planning on doing. He is not going back. We have 2 more barracks coming down.
There we go. Probably pull what 2 or 3 SCVs with this.
Yep.
This is very similar to why the spawns on Deadwing were disabled horizontally. These rocks get abused in the same manner. So you'll have the medevac up here for high ground vision. Tanks are in range of both the last 2 mineral patches as well as the assimilator here. So as he pushes into this, Supernova, he's got the potential to do a lot of damage because, yeah, maybe he kill probes, maybe kill stalkers, whatever. That's actually a moot point. Denying a 4th gas from a Protoss player is wholly and entirely significant.
Yeah. I'm not sure that Stork saw this coming. He's an observer over there now. I'm not sure if he saw the tanks. And if he did, well, what can he do, really? Nothing's going to really change because he has gateway units that can't take down those rocks without being attacked by the tanks.
I actually really like this. He can't keep the mothership core there due to the fact that the Supernova tries to snipe him, but the Wood Mine was providing that vision necessary. Scans. Oh, it's dropping him. He's going to get caught. He's going to lose the medevac. That's really bad because now he doesn't have the vision without scans. Does take out the assimilator though. Good start for this.
Yeah, it's at the very least he can get that. And now he can also start probing over on that left side as well.
Back at home, I like that he's getting safety turrets down. This turret specifically looks like an anti-FUDT turret.
Yeah. It is possible, because he has no Colossus and he's scanning and seeing no tech, that could have been a case. But so many people are opening like Stork does right now with his blink.
Yeah, this is actually a little bit scary.
Yeah, this is the counterattack I was talking about, whereas his production is, it is up now, but it hasn't really been cranking out for a long time. Well, I think with the bunker, he's perfectly fine.
You could possibly, maybe without the Marauders there. If it was still just Marines, blink past, let's just go to the main, but...
what a risky move, because his stim is done, and with medevacs...
Well, Warp Prism picks something up here. I guess he's going to go for his own back rock attack. For Supernova 2, it's actually it's more dangerous to bring these home than leave them here, which is kind of silly to say, because right now they're provided with the safety of the rock wall, with the bunkers and support, etc. But if he puts those back home, if he drags them back across the middle of the map, he could be in a lot of trouble. One Marine stims up here for high ground vision. What?
He's gonna die to motion before.
Yeah. But that blink coming here towards the main stim is done as you said. Blinks into the stalkers and the Marauders.
I don't know about this. The force field's not really helping out.
Yeah. Can't kill the Warp Prism, sadly.
Warp Prism.
Yeah, that's too fast. That's speed buff, though. I will still never get over that. There's been a lot of unnecessary speed buffs, I feel, in this match.
To Protoss specific, Protoss specific. Speed boost, people said it wasn't necessary in the beginning and it seemed like OP, but now it's just a really cool part of the game, so no complaints there.
Oh, these medevacs in the middle of the map might get picked off by a couple stalkers.
Oh, good reaction. Yeah! They still lose about 3/4 of that medevac.
Oh, it's a good sniper for Stork. Definitely something he needed to have happen. He's been trying to cause damage in this game, just hasn't been able to. Slowly chipping away at the debris with the Immortal. Even the Immortal might not be able to break this, though. I mean, the tanks, of course, not going to do a lot of effective damage, but once Immortals lose that hardened shield, once they lose their shields, they're just, well, heavy-hitting, armored, dealing damage units, and they'll take a lot of damage from the tank. So if you can focus down the shields on the Immortal, yeah.
No Marauder slow quite yet, he almost for sure would have gotten there.
Yeah. There's been a lot of focus on the natural. There is that third base up and running, and Supernova is unaware of this.
Yeah, that's a pretty big deal. And he's getting his own thirds. He's not going to be, completely behind economically, but he is maybe thinking he's in a better position than he is.
That's always the overestimation, right? But the Immortals takes some heavy hits, decides to dive in for one, snipes it, backs away, loses a Marine, a good trade, I'd say, to say the least.
Yeah, we do have double drops going off to the right, and if they're going towards the main, well, they're just going to fly right over the third, and there's nothing to defend the third.
I think he's got a pretty good idea of thirds up at this point. I mean, it's not a guarantee, but Stork's not a player to sit there choked up on 2 bases like this.
Yeah. This is a common response to this tank push. Just go ahead and take that earlier third. And we saw TY just absolutely dismantle.
Oh, he's gonna lose the
after this
Nexus.
push.
He
Yeah.
tries to respond to this, but as he does, the Stalkers get segmented off to deal with drop.
Stalkers though. Good blink micro. They do push this back, but it was so
Mothership
it's such a
Port goes
difficult.
down.
He has to pay attention so closely on both sides. I
Another
don't know
big
if it's gonna
drop coming.
hold.
2 Woodmine's gonna burrow right on top of these Zealots. Can they move in time?
Oh, move!
Get some probe kills with it too. Those Woodmines are fantastic. Still diving back in here, in and out, go for the Nexus. The Immortals starting to clean up this attack. Meanwhile, those double drops were relifted and dropping the third while this is happening. The bunker and the... Oh no! Immortals, please! Why? Goes to the bunker, kills the bunker. Gonna lose both the Immortals for it though. Not at all worth
now
it.
losing the third too because the big blink stalkers over here.
Supernova just picking his opponent apart, and Stork is no small fry.
I feel like we saw Parting do the same exact response to when TY did the tank push, and TY does exactly what Supernova is doing. He just absolutely dismantles his opponent. He kills both, well, almost kills both Nexus.
Oh, we actually get a Zealot drop here in the main, so getting some counterattack damage done finally. However, he's still behind quite significantly.
Yeah. Well, down below 100 supply, down below 80 supply. Still getting attacked too. A drop going the natural should be able to pick off this Nexus.
Oh, that's a big drop too. It's not like 1 or 2. Stork in a lot of trouble and very close to the end of his game. GG. Supernova, man. Supernova will win the first series of the day. Well, guys,